Hi, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe if you haven't done it yet. Thanks.
Okay, so hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So let's continue with this Laravel 7 and Vue.js Todo app where we can practicing CRUD applications. And in the last video, in the first video, I have created a basic layout of this to-do app, and we were able to add to-dos to the database, and we were able to read data from the database and display it to the user. So as you can see, and since the last video I finished the last video, I just styled this to-dos list. So you will see the styled version, but I will explain what I have done for that list. So this is where we finished the last video, and this is how the to-do list looks like now. So basically the same list items, I'm just styled them a little bit. So we have these SVG icons, these circles, and if we click on it, we will be able to mark these tasks, these to-dos as completed. So basically we learn how to update. And we also have these two SVG icons at the end of each line, which is one of them for the edit icon. So you will be able to edit the to-dos. And of course this icon for delete, so you will be able to delete to-dos from your list. At the moment they are just simple icons. You are not able, and I'm not able to click on these. I got these SVG icons from these tabular icons, tabularicons.com. You can fully customize your SVGs here as you wish. You can select even colors, and it's absolutely free. So this is where I got my icons, and this is how it looks like. Okay, so let's have a look at the code. Okay, so we have the form, and under the form we have the to-dos list, you can see, and inside this to-dos list we are looping through each to-dos, and we are using SVG icons. The first icon, which is this circle, is this is the first SVG icon for that. This is the circle, and we will able to toggle these icons later on. And as you can see, if the to-dos is not completed, so it's false, which is all of them by default, then you can see these SVGs. Or if the to-dos are to-do is true, then you will see these other SVG icons. So basically they are in the spam tag, and I have two SVG icons inside the spam tag, and I can click on them later on. At this time I don't have this functionality. So let's just see how it looks like if I mark one of my to-dos as completed. So let's go to the database and switch it to manually. Let's switch this fourth to 1, and if we hit refresh, so this is how will looks like if our to-dos is completed. So these are incompleted, and this one is completed now. So basically this if statement, switching between true or false, and we can click on these SVG icons using V on click toggle to do, and we will able to update the complete and incomplete state. Okay, the next part is the actual to-do title. So we are talking about this actual to-do title, but by the way, the code will be in the description, so you can find it there as well. Okay, so that one is for the title, and we have if edit mode. We will talk about later on this one as well. I don't have the functionality for this at the moment, but we have this if statement for this title. Okay, and the last section is this one. If we click on this, it will switch to another icon to save the actual to-do's title. You will see later on. So that's why you get two SVGs here. This is for the edit mode off, edit mode on. You will see two different SVG icons, and this one for the delete to do. As you can see, I don't have these methods yet, but I just created this we on click events on the actual icons. Okay, so let's just do these. Okay, so let's just do these functions, these methods. First of all, let's toggle between completed and incompleted state. So as you can see, if we click on this circle or in this ticked version of the circle, then we would like to be toggled between incomplete and complete state, and we would like to be able to save it. So we would like to update basically the to-dos. Okay, so basically we need to create this to-do toggle to-do method function. So let's go down to the methods and start typing toggle to do, and we are passing in the event. Basically we are passing in the actual to do, so we can work with that to do in the database. So that's why you can see this to do, which is related to this v4 to do. So we are passing in that to do inside this method. And first of all, we want to toggle the completed state of this to do. Is completed. I want to be equal the opposite of the current state of this completed. Okay, so if this to do is completed, then I want to make it incompleted, or if this to do is incompleted, then I want to do the opposite. That's why we have this exclamation mark, and I want to mark it as completed. And of course I want to save this state in the database as well. So we have to create a new form data. Let data equals to new form data. Since we are performing a post request with axios, but actually this will be an update event in the Laravel backend, then we need to append to this data a patch method. So Laravel will know that we are actually updating something, not posting and creating a new data into the database. So data.append, and we are appending a method patch. Okay, and now we have to send the actual completed or incompleted state to the database. So let's just first of all find out if it's completed or incompleted. So let's use an if statement here. Is equal to true. Then we want to send a true to the database. So data.append completed, and we want to send 1. Or if e.completed equals to false, then we want to append to this data what we're sending to the database a false state or 0. completed, and let's send A0 to the database. Okay, so basically now we are having this patch method, and now we can send either a true or even a false to the database, depending on the current state of the completed. Okay, so now we can perform an axios request, axios.post. So that's why we need this method patch, because we are sending a post, but basically it will be a patch request. And of course we have to send the actual to-dos ID, so the Laravel can identify what to-do we want to update. And data. Let's go and now create the controller as well for this. Okay, so we need to scroll down to the update method, and basically we are expecting an ID here, so let's just switch it to ID. Now we want to grab the to-do from the database, so let's create a new variable called to-do, and it has to be equal to-do, and it has to be equal to the current to-do we want to update. So we want to go to the to-do model and find or fail by this ID. Then we would like to update this to-do with the send request. Oh, it will be only the completed field, but I'm just using it like that. And after that it's updated, we want to save it. As well, and that's it. Okay, so basically what we are doing here, our Vue.js component will send the ID of the actual edited to-do with the data, and the data is basically completed or incompleted, and our controller will grab that ID and find the related to-do from the database, and then we are updating that database by the sent request, which is only a completed or incompleted. Then we are save it, and that's it. It will respond a 200 message back to the Vue component. Okay, so if we are refreshing this now, we should be able to toggle between completed or incompleted state. Okay, so we have marked as completed this to do. Let's just have a look if it's updated as well in the database. Hit refresh. No, it's not working. Let's find out why. We have loads of errors. Hit refresh again. Okay, so we have tons of... Oh yeah, because I have edit mode and stuff like that, which is not ready yet. But what if I toggle this button? I have 404 because it couldn't find the to-dos 5. It's because I forget a slash, I think. Here we need to pass in a slash, and then we passing the ID. So let's just hit refresh again. Okay, and see our database now. Okay, so it's working. Actually, it's updating. Let's switch it back to 0. So incompleted. Okay, it works on the front end. Let's see the database, and it switched back to 0, so false, so it's not completed. If we are hit refresh, it still stays in the same state. So basically we are able to update now from the CRUD. We are able to toggle between complete and incomplete states. There you go. Now let's check this edit state. We would like to be able to edit, update the title of the to-do. So for example, if you have a typo in it or you want to change it something else, you will be able to do that. Okay, so let's go to these icons now inside the code. Okay, so we have just worked with this incomplete and complete state of to-dos. And now we are focusing on these two SVG icons, which is toggling the edit mode. So basically we need to create this edit mode. So we will be able to toggle between them. So let's just add it. And by default it's false. And when we click on the edit icon on one of the to-do, then we are assigned to this edit mode the actual to-do's ID. So we are know what to-do we want to edit because we have the ID of that to-do. So I just would like to show you how does it works. If I hit refresh, if I click on this edit mode, as you can see it's switched to as like an input field, and we are able to edit it. And of course we are not able to save it, and we are not able to switch it back because we are not able to send the save request to the database. But as you can see, our edit mode is switched to number 4, which is the ID of this to-do. So this is the default value of the edit mode. But when we click on this icon, it was the first to-do we created, so the ID should be 1. And as you can see, if I clicked on it, it switched to the edit mode, and we switch the SVG icon to save, and we are able to edit the title of the to-do. Of course we are not able to save it just yet, and as you can see the edit mode switched to 1, so we assign the edit mode to this to-do ID. So here we clicked on this SVG icon, and as soon as we clicked, the edit mode is equals to this to-do ID, and up here where we are write out the actual name of the to-do, we are checking if the current state of edit mode is false or the edit mode is not equal to this to-do ID. Then we just would like to write out a simple title of the to-do, just like here, here, and here. But if the edit mode is equal to the to-do ID, then we would like to show this input field, just like here. That's why we have this input field here. So if the edit mode is equal to this to-do ID, then we would like to show this input field basically. This first to do, we are seeing this green, basically a save button. So now we should be able, we want to be able to click on it and save it into the database. So basically we would like to update this to do. So on click, we want to perform this update to do, and we are sending the current to do to this function. So let's just create this update to do method down here. Update to do, we are sending in again the current to do. Don't forget the comma here. As soon as we clicked on this save button, we would like to switch it back to edit mode to false. So it's switch back to the normal state. So let's just set this edit mode to false. And then we want to send the new to-dos title we have just edited to the database again. So we are creating we are doing let data, and we need again this patch method because it will be an update, not a create method. So let's just copy and paste it here. And of course you want to send the actual title, so data append title, and this form, the title will be equal the send in to-dos title, so e.title. Okay, so now we can able to perform the axios request. Axios.post, but as we just learned, it will be a patch method, but we are able to only send post. Okay, and we want to use the same route as we just used here. Basically everything is the same because we are hitting the same route. We are sending the ID, so we know what we have to update, and we are sending the data, which is in this case the title, the new title we have just edited. Then and for now I don't want to perform anything, but I want to catch any error, because if we are deleting everything, then of course this will be an empty input field, which is not allowed. So I would like to show an error message in this case. So exactly the same way we catched the error here, I want to catch the error up here as well. We want to record it to this form.errors. Okay, so as we have just created this request all, basically we don't need to change anything because it will request, it will update anything we are sending to this controller now. So basically we are good to go. Hit refresh, switch to edit mode, first to do, edited version, click on save. It's saved on the front end. Let's have a look in the database. So we should see a updated version here as well, and as you can see it's updated. If we are refreshing this front end as well, it's updated. So now we are able to update anything we want, and we're still able to toggle between completed and incompleted state. The last one is the delete section. Let's make it much more user friendly. Let's style the cursor as we are hovering over these icons. So let's go to the style, which is inside resources says app.scss, and we want to style the to-do svg. Okay, so it should work now. Hit refresh. Yes, because I didn't give this to-do class, and for this I give a to-do class. Hit refresh now, and yeah, we have this nice cursor now. This is the trash bin svg, and as you can see, on we click, we would like to perform a delete function, and we of course passing in the current to do what we have just clicked. So let's create this function down in the method section, and again we are passing in the to-dos. We need a comma at the end, and again we are creating a new form data, and we are appending a new method, but at this time, instead of patching, because we are not updating basically the current entries in the database, we are deleting, we are sending the delete method, so Laravel will know even if coming in a post request, it's actually a delete request. Do a axios.post to the same route. Everything is the same, and then will be equal to this res data. And just as usual, if we have any error, we would like to catch that as well. Okay, so we are performing a delete request to this API route. We are sending the ID of this clicked to do, and then we would like to receive all the to-dos remained in the database and assign it to these to-dos. Okay, so let's just do that delete method in the controller. Here is the destroy. This is gonna be the delete method. We are accepting the ID, and basically just like exactly the same way we have grabbed the to-do at the update method, we are grabbing the to-do again, but instead of update we are deleting it. And exactly the same way we are getting the to-dos up in the index method. We would like to return this to our Vue component. So we are getting all the remained to-dos in the database and return it to the Vue.js component, which will grab that response, and we will be assigning to these to-dos to this response data. Okay, let's just test this out. Hit refresh. No error so far. Okay, let's toggle it as uncompleted. Let's update the title of it. Save it. And if we decide we don't want this item anymore in our list, let's delete. And it's working as expected. We have these errors here. What about these? Dot then without anything, so let's just delete it. Hit refresh. Delete mode. Save. Okay, we have no error now at all. Okay. Go to the shop. Let's delete all this nonsense here. Learn Laravel. Learn Laravel. Learn Laravel.